everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a special guest all the way out in Toronto, Canada, working on a project that I'm excited to learn more about. We have Darius with Drops.co. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Man, I'm excellent. Just finished the Thanksgiving holiday, so feeling very thankful. The market's a little down, but hey, I think we still have a lot of legs left in this year, but we can get into that a little bit later. First, I want to learn more about you. Can you give us some background on yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a developer and also, I have worked at, have been working on mobile apps development, web development back in, 8 years ago. And my journey to crypto started somewhere like 2012 when I was just looking through forums and saw about Bitcoin being a source of new internet money. And ever since started digging more into it. So mostly it was just some speculation, nothing too serious. And then later on, somewhere in 2015, I started digging more into the whole ecosystem that's being built around, also Ethereum. And in 2016, I started Web3 development agency. So mostly we did some dApps, some were not. And then when the ICO craze started, so mostly we're just launching tokens, building dashboards. So nothing too interesting to build.
I don't know about that. That sounds pretty interesting. I mean, you're building some decentralized apps, so some dApps, which were some of the first probably out in the market, and just also learning about the blockchain space. What intrigued you about being in this space? How did you first learn about it, and what made you decide I want to start building some dApps?
Yeah. So basically, the most intriguing part is that it's this unstoppable force that blockchain technology represents. That whenever you just build something, you push it out there, and it can stay there forever, and it's immutable. Nothing can change it, and anyone can interact with it. So it's this freedom to create whatever you want, and then nobody else can take it down. So that was a really powerful idea, and it might be inspired by previous peer-to-peer technologies, and I was a big fan of torrents and how it was created, the way that networks can work together. So it was quite fascinating. So it's I guess the things that attracted me to it was this powerful way to create stuff. It's more it's not just a software, I would say. It's more you're creating a hardware product. And another thing, it's probably this network effect that it can have, because anyone can use it and anyone can be part of it. So this inclusiveness is also what's been interesting. So moving when I was analyzing what decentralized apps can bring to our economy, or to the whole, to each sector in our lives. Well, a lot of it made sense, and in a way that it allows users, ordinary consumers, to be owners of their own assets, to be able to control how they want to have their money spent, and also ownership of data as well. So there's plenty of things that attract me to it, and I'm just excited to keep being in the space and keep building to make great things happen.
So definitely get help with, giving people the freedom to decide where they want their money to be spent. Also, what types of freedoms between where their data is being stored, how they are putting everything else out there. So that's what kind of got you into this space. But bring us to how you got involved with Drops. So what is Drops, and what was the impetus of you creating it in the first place?
So the story of Drops, I think it goes back to like 2020, like earlier 2020, when finally when the foreign market started picking up, and we saw like this great activity of adoption of DeFi products, and I went through this whole DeFi summer was quite exciting, and then it got me thinking, like there was like this gap that's been forming, that all these fungible assets, they are now able to generate yield, and there's great infrastructure for them. But what about NFTs? Because NFTs have been, for a long time, kind of like disregarded. And although back in early conferences or like meetups, where people are saying that, we will have real estate tokenized, like we'll tokenize, like, pretty much like everything. But to tokenize non-fungible things, you would need NFTs, and the infrastructure for that it just wasn't there. So just like for fun, I started a project called Node Runners, which basically was like a collectible. It was a collectible cards game where you would farm NFTs, and then to extend their use, you would stake them and earn tokens. So that was like a first attempt to do something with NFTs, to connect them with a similar concept that DeFi has, like yield farming, and I really like working on it, and just then started looking for ways how it can be more scalable, and that's how the idea of Drops came true. Basically, for the NFTs to be bridged to the DeFi, we need like this permissionless way to obtain liquidity, so that you can obtain loans in a permissionless manner. And then once you have that, then you can, earn yield or use borrowed capital for something more useful, or create leverage. So, that's how this idea of permissionless lending protocol came out, that will use NFTs as collateral. And we started building it early this year, 2021. And right now, went through some for many changes, like how it should look like. There were many different iterations of it, but finally we went through our testnet, and hoping to pass the audit soon and get this baby to the world out there.
No doubt. So let's break that down. So you identified the problem of being able to tokenize NFTs, basically being able to create DeFi, decentralized finance on top of NFTs, providing collateral with your NFTs, and then being able to use that money or borrow against it to be able to do other things while your NFTs kind of being locked up. So you were trying to figure out how do you do it in a easy way that anyone be able to come onto your platform, Drops, and then be able to do that. And that was kind of the precipice of you doing that. And as you said, you started earlier this year and you had many iterations of trying to restructure and refigure out like how to best present this to the world. What do you think was one of the biggest hurdles for you to overcome with trying to create something like this?
I think the biggest issue would be how NFTs could be priced. That's one thing. And also how to mitigate risk, because some NFTs could easily default, and if founders abandon them, then they can really put a risk to the whole protocol. But at the same way, it needs to be scalable. So like having too much governance of what gets in could slow down the protocol growth. Like one of the first ideas, it was to use NFT fractions and create first liquidity for them, and then use these fractions as a collateral, allowing users to also retain ownership over NFT. But like for some simulations, actually it might not work out well, and there are some major flaws in the design as well. So then just like removing any unnecessary parts in the design, how it should work, we came up with this with more simple idea, and we just have assumption that some NFTs are liquid enough, like they have trading volume, they have their floor price, they have their average price, and so there's this liquidity that is like already there, and like there are some great projects out there that have strong communities, and most likely they're not going to go anywhere in the next months, years to come. So instead of creating a synthetic liquidity for them with fractions, we decided to just use what's there in the OpenSea, and to price NFTs, we're using like time-weighted average price of the floor, and along with some additional filters to remove deviations, and like to isolate risks from users. For the protocol, so we putting those NFTs in like pools. So each NFT collection has its own pool, and liquidity doesn't mix, and therefore investors deciding to supply liquidity to specific pool, they're just exposing themselves to this specific collection. So that way, like NFTs that have already like social approval, social trust, they will be able to attract more liquidity, and those that don't, most likely they'll have trouble having that. But that's because they might not be liquid in the first place. So that's these have been the challenges, and well, hopefully this will work. The time will show us.
Right. No, I mean, those are big challenges to be facing for sure. First, to be able to adequately de-risk the pricing of the NFTs, and then having people that want to then go and add liquidity to liquidity pools and everything else. So you're spot on with big challenges that have to be put out there. But just like you said, you have the testnet going, the mainnet's coming out soon. So that's all exciting. But I believe you also have some pretty exciting news about a Metaverse play that you have going on. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, yeah. Basically, we are organizing an event that will be focused on Metaverse finance and how Metaverse assets are going to basically change the way also DeFi will work, and how basically like show people that metaverses will be not like these isolated bubbles, but instead with help of DeFi they can be all interconnected together, and bring value to the communities, to DAOs, by allowing to, let's say, use metaverse assets for financial purposes as well, not just for gaming or earning in-game yield with those assets. So we're organizing an event, like the details are going to be announced soon, and we'll have some great giveaways. We'll have DJ, and it will be happening at Decentraland. And so right now, all you can do is follow Jobs Twitter and look for the latest updates about that.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Something I'm gonna go check out, because that is, for those of you who have not yet explored the world of Decentraland, it's pretty cool. Recommend checking that out, and I'm sure this event's gonna be a lot of fun as well. Another question that I have for you is, clearly you're passionate about like the NFT and DeFi space. How do you think it is going to continue to evolve, let's say over the next 2 to 5 years?
So we're going to see much more interconnection between DeFi and NFT space. Like particularly, like probably one of the primary things that's going to happen is, so right now we have bridges built between multiple chains. So although all the NFTs and all kind of like main DeFi products were built on Ethereum. So what we're going to see is just much more spread ecosystem that will be built on many other chains, on layer 2s, and so that's like the first thing that's going to happen. So will stop being this cluster of products on Ethereum, but instead it will spread to this multi-chain communities. Then once that happens, so when we'll have bridges from different chains, and also there will be bridges for NFTs, so that will also accelerate the flow of NFTs, that like their value will be transposable, and let's say like NFTs like CryptoPunks will be able to be sent, let's say Arbitrum, and perhaps on Arbitrum there can be a product that will allow them to be used as collateral, and they'll be able to, all users will be able to obtain like instant loans and earn yield with it. And so there'll be just much more interconnection between chains, and also in addition to that, there'll be more apps that utilize the NFTs themselves, not just fungible tokens. So another like accelerator in the growth of the space will definitely be Facebook's Metaverse. They might not contribute to the crypto space overall themselves, but just the narrative that they have set, this Metaverse narrative, is going to be really powerful. And perhaps one day, I don't know, maybe in 3 years, maybe sooner, we might see like bridges that are connected with Facebook Metaverse to some other chains. And well, if that happens, we're going to have like insane exposure. Insane growth of users coming from Facebook metaverses to like crypto space and vice versa. So probably like this is that's another thing that's going to happen, and like the whole metaverse space is going to get more mature. Like community owned organizations like DAOs will be able to not just be there to invest in stuff or have fun playing games, but you might see them having more impact on daily lives as well. Perhaps I don't know, maybe there will be DAOs that will be focused on helping, using funds for good causes, or trying to reduce our carbon footprint, or DAOs that will try to invest in expanding human life expectancy, stuff. And that's probably my general outlook
on the next 2 to 5. Yeah. So just to re-break that down, and that, there's a lot of good nuggets. So from the NFT space and DeFi, you're going to see more interoperability across chain. You're going to see more NFTs actually being used for liquidity instead of it just fungible tokens being able to provide that type of stuff. The metaverse is going to be pretty large. Facebook, I mean, just on the subject of Facebook, I've seen so many Facebook Oculus, now Meta Oculus commercials that are coming out, and the fact that these gigantic VR headsets are becoming more and more affordable, where they used to be thousands of dollars. Now you can get them for $300. It's just making it more accessible for more people to be using it. So I think that trend is definitely going in the right direction for people to get more exposure to this virtual metaverse world, which is virtual reality. And then finally, DAOs. DAOs are here to stay. People are going to be more and more creative with how they're going to be set up and different challenges that they're looking to face. So I think those are three really good things to be looking out for. And I appreciate you bringing that to everyone's, making sure that everyone is paying attention to that. So I always like to finish up with two fun questions. The first being, with all the information and knowledge that you have right now, if you could go impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom when you first got started, let's say back in 2015 on your crypto blockchain journey, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself, like, no matter what happens, like, no matter what, if you start believing something and you can see the real value of it, like, you just see like this fundamental things that make sense, and although other people will not see it that way, so like, just stick to it, just stay on this path, and just be kind to people that you meet, be also be generous to people, and eventually it will come around. You never know how it will. Well, yeah, if you just keep doing the good things that that make value and make sense to you and to others, and if you're being mindful and kind to people, then yeah, good things will come. So yeah, what saying, like, what goes around comes around. So probably, yeah, that would be my my first advice. Because yeah, there've been like so many instances, like the people I met before, and like, we're not even thinking of like working together or being doing something, but eventually, like, down the road, our paths connected, and like, this crypto space itself is quite small, and yeah, it's been really helpful.
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah.
those are two good gems. You believe in something, just go for it, and the timing will make right. And do right by people. Just do good by others, and things will work themselves out. There's collaboration. You'll make the right connection. You never know. You never know what a conversation will do, and just by treating someone well, who they'll connect you to ultimately head you in the right direction of what's meant for you. So I think that is absolutely a good thought. But as we kind of wrap up here, man, what is a final thought that you want to leave with all the listeners here today?
My final thought, well, guys, we're here to set for quite a wild ride with the whole crypto space and like metaverses, DAOs, DeFi. So we're just like the things that we've been talking already for the past, I don't know, like 10 years about the blockchain, what it means, what it will bring to people, or the mass adoption of it. So it finally starts to happen. Like, now is the time when we're breaking the ice, getting noticed, and yeah, like, the real traction and use cases are happening. So if you have any doubts about the space overall, well, maybe, well, perhaps you should look at it just a bigger picture and maybe change your mind. But if you're a believer in the whole space, well, yes, stay there long enough and great things will happen to you.
Great final thought. Again, be persistent. If you see the vision of where this thing's headed, it's going to be massive. And I just want to echo that, because back in 2018, when I first learned about this space and I saw what it could be, I just knew this was going to be the future. And I got in and decided, like, how do I educate myself so that when the moment comes, I'm ready? And it's been really rewarding and cool. Just 2021, everything that's happened and all the opportunities that have come through the space. to have been ready for this moment. So, Darius, I think that's a good reminder to just stay ready, stay persistent, and good things are on the way. So, Darius, I really appreciate you spending some time with us. What are ways that people can either connect with you or learn more about Drops?
Yeah, so you can just visit our website, drops.co, or follow us on Twitter, Drops NFT. And we can. We also host like regular AMAs and reports, and also you can join our Discord community, Telegram, where you can also find me there. So yeah, that's how you can find us, and hopefully to see you there.
Perfect. Well, again, I really appreciate you spending time with us today. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.